Doggie Diamonds did this. Doggie Diamonds did this.
What's up, everybody? I'm Doggie Diamonds. This is family, friends, and foes. And introduce yourself to the people.
Good morning, it's your brother Tad. The Tad Talks, the OG wisdom, and all that I be doing.
You said good morning?
Nah, I said all that I be doing, though.
I thought you said good morning. I thought you said.
Nah, I said come on, man.
Oh, right. It was like, good morning. This nigga still in another time zone or something like that. All right, got you.
Yeah.
All right, so this is something that we talk about a lot because we from a specific neighborhood that produced a lot of people, produced a lot of heavy hitters, produced a lot of heavy hitters on the streets, produced a lot of heavy hitters in the music industry. And we just seen all different types of dudes in there. So I titled this one Real OG verse. Let me make sure I got it correctly. Make sure Real OG versus fake hood leadership, the big difference. You want to start us?
Look, man, it's a lot of ways that I could go into this, you know. I love talking about leadership because one of the things I encourage people to do is become your own leader.
Right.
Now, a lot of times people become leaders, whether self-appointed or hood-appointed, based on their influence. And some people got positive influence, some people got negative influence.
Right.
Depends on where you want to be led. But leadership is so valuable and viable in our community because black people always holler, dog, we need more leaders, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I don't necessarily disagree with.
Right.
Now, let me qualify that. We don't need leaders in terms of telling us our instructions on what we need to do, even though leaders are influential. But we do need to assume leaderships in our own lives and in our homes and then in our community. But now, how do you become a leader?
Right.
In your home and in your community? First of all, you got to set out with goals. You have to do something that's beneficial, not just to yourself, because for yourself, you got to be the example, but organize your family. How do you treat the children in your family and in your house? How do you raise them? Because children are representative of what they're around. So if you demonstrating poor leadership skills, like dog, I know you see it on IG. People got the children singing that scamming song.
Yeah. Right.
Encouraging children to curse and misbehave and disrespect adults. That's poor leadership.
Right.
Your child is your follower. They only know what you teach them, and they only going to be reflecting the value system that you place in them.
Right.
So if your child got poor values and morals, chances are you do too. So that disqualifies you as a good leader.
Right.
Now, if you raising proper, upright, respectful children that speak with proper diction, has a talent, and learn how to develop themselves, then you qualify to lead in some capacity. But of course, there's levels to everything, and there's levels to this shit. All right, you're a good parent, but how are you with the rest of the family?
Right. I got
you. Organize your siblings, and then that will get the neighbors on board. Like, yo, that's a good person. They got good morals. They trustworthy. They move with integrity. I rocks with them.
Right.
And that's how your influence, you know what I'm saying, will get you a position in terms of leadership in your area, in your environment. And when you build on that, you become trustworthy.
Right.
Where people could put money on you. Like, you know what? Nah, you're a good person. It's like you, dog. In this digital space, you developed a lot of relationships because of your integrity, because of secrets you've kept. Like even with last week, when people wanted you to put out a particular audio, and after you and a person had a conversation, you took the high road. Like, nah, you know what? I'd rather build a relationship than destroy one.
Right, because nobody can't.
Skills.
Yeah, because nobody can't use me as a pawn, and they little sick fantasy or the little butt games that they play with dudes. That They had relationships with people prior to me having a relationship with any of them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So if you was cool with somebody up to a couple of years ago, but we got some audio that's dating back shit over a decade ago, how cool was you a couple of years ago with them?
Lack integrity,
Yeah,
morally deficit, morally deficient. You
right,
know what I'm saying?
right,
Because as a friend, if I'm telling you something in confidence, whether I'm venting or it's just me and you as brother to brother kicking it, I'm thinking what I'm telling you in confidence, but you're in essence trying to blackmail me. See,
right,
this is what a con man is, right? A
right.
con man is the word con is short for confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I gain your confidence for you to trust me, and then I violate that trust.
Right.
That's low morals and that's lack of integrity. And if those are the characters that you display, then you disqualify yourself in any leadership role
Right. Yeah.
because we can't trust you.
Right. And see, this is the thing. People who be wanting to be trusted are some of the most untrustworthiest people, and you can't trust them. And when you can't trust somebody, you can't trust them with nothing. You
Right.
can't pick and choose when and how you trust them. Because first of all, I realized the first thing that people break with trust is they break their word. Right? A lot of people don't keep their word. And then you start seeing the word, because the word is just the word, but then the action reinforces the word. Right? That's why I always say to people, the action reinforces the word. So a lot of times people say something, but then you look at their actions and you be like, nah, their actions ain't really what it is. And it's like, for me, people could feel how they want to feel about anything, but it's up to me to make the final call when I'm the actor, director, producer of my life. You know what I'm saying? Because it's my life, and
Main character.
it
You're the main
character,
character.
right, and how I'm depicted is important to me, because some people don't care how they depicted, because it's easy to be depicted the bad guy and then point the finger, say, nah, it was him. You get what I'm saying? Because first of all, one of the key factors of being a leader is accountability. That's the first thing of being a leader, is accountability. When the team lost, if you the leader, it's your fault.
That's right.
You can't say, yo, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. So why you got them in that position to do it if you the leader of the team?
Right.
If a nigga can't shoot the basket, why you put him in the game? You get what I'm saying? So as the leader, the coach, the manager, whatever it is in these situations, is you to put the right pieces together for the team to win. If you put a scrub in the game and everybody playing hard and this motherfucker dribbling it out of balance, niggas say out of balance, but if you do dribbling out of bounds, yeah, right. If he dribbling out of bounds, that's your fault. You get what I'm saying? And then you have to take accountability for, this is the pieces that you put together. But and we deal with a lot of fake leaders, because having money don't make you the leader. Being the toughest don't make you the leader. Being the tallest don't make you the leader. Being a person that's disciplined, has accountability, and willing to just go down in a blaze of glory for this team to win, and putting the right pieces in play to put people in position to win. And one of the books that we read a long time ago, The Art of War, gotta feed your troops. And then Mastering the Art of War. You gotta feed your troops. So you be seeing people, because we've been in situations where dudes acting like they the leader, but everybody's starving.
Word.
But that's why I always say,
only one shining.
right, and that's why I
Only
say,
one shining.
but that's why I always say, if a man got the power to feed you, he got the power to starve you too. So we seen the hood where a lot of people think they OGs, because we could talk about the hood, but the hood has, not in me and your eyes, but the hood has become the internet, right? People think the YouTube streets, like people really think the hood is the internet now. When you
Yeah.
see dudes who play this OG status on the internet, what are some of your thoughts?
Some of them are real OGs, and
Right.
some of them are fronting OGs.
Right.
Shout out to the real one, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. I hate to see the real ones beefing back and forth. Like you got the real OGs of Brooklyn and Queens going back and forth. You know what I mean?
Right.
And part of that is it kind of taints the cloth that many of us are cut from.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't even say many, some of us are cut from that cloth of the 80s and 90s. You know, me and you grew up in the 80s and 90s. That's where we got our stripes.
Mm-hmm.
By the 2000s, we was already solidified. But I'm talking about the OGs from the 70s.
Right.
Dudes who were selling nickel bags of reefer
Right.
in
Right.
the
Right.
manila
Right.
envelopes. You
And
know
the,
what I'm
and
saying?
the little camera
Those
cases
were
too. Yeah.
OGs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where certain disagreements and gripes were kept out of the view of public. It wasn't for public consumption. It wasn't for the civilians to get involved.
Right.
Nobody even knew when the real G's was beefing. But now with this internet phase, and I hate to see the OGs up on here beefing with each other when I think they could just definitely get a simple phone call going. But I get it. In this digital space, it's all about content because this stuff translates into dollars. But I remember coming up, all money wasn't good money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can see a dice game, your man got banking. You be like, yo, what's in it? He tell you, yo, your money ain't no good here.
Right.
You can't bet on my line.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because you my man.
Right.
I'm roping these dudes.
Or you are ass
could
for,
get a side
or the
bet
other
they
side is
don't
you a
win.
notorious ass better.
Oh, you an ass better. You
Yeah.
getting hands, feet, and pistols put
But
on
I'm just saying, some people would be like, your
But-
money ain't no good because you a
Yeah.
notorious ass
Yeah.
better.
Right. Yes. But in this digital space now, it's almost like anything goes. And one of the things that and I'm always gonna big you up, not just because
Mhm.
you family, because you one of the last few that's holding the line of that traditional cloth we coming from, where everything ain't all about a dollar, because you could have sold everybody's story. You could have started mad beef.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And put content out. But as opposed to get paid, where you could have made bands upon bands, you said, nah, you know what? I don't want nobody to get hurt, because it's real ones that you know what I'm saying? That lives get lost behind this. When we talk leadership, you in control of an army. And there's 5 C's in leadership, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have consistency, you gotta have courage, you gotta have character, you gotta have competence, and you gotta have did I say consistency?
Yes.
Yeah, consistency, courage, character, confidence, and competence.
Right.
You got to prove yourself to be a competent leader. What does that mean? As Dog just mentioned, we talk about the art of war. One of the things Sun Tzu said, a real general knows how to win a war without going to battle. And that's important, because when you go to battle, you put your mans in them on the front line.
What I
Now, if
always
you-
say to y'all, I say, yo, just like, when you get the call, when people play on the internet, you get the call and
I
they
get the call immediately.
and is ready to
Like,
go.
yo,
Then I'm
what you know,
getting the
what Cuzzo
prison.
want to do.
Then I'm getting the prison calls like, yo, what's up? And I say, yo, the way I could
Dog never
send,
push the button.
I said the way I could send troops, everybody might not come home. Do I want that on me?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because everybody act like, when they might have their beer muscles, or, especially when dudes talk to women, they always strong when they talk to a chick. We know dudes who used to get punched in their mouth every day.
Oh, that pillow talking is something
This
else.
is what
that
I'm
pillow
saying.
talking something else.
Right.
And that's how many nations went down.
Right.
Generals and leaders is talking to the women, and the women are spies.
Right. You on your
They
Wi-Fi?
like, word, how you really feel about it?
You heard me on your Wi-Fi?
Yeah,
You're a little choppy for
I'm
some
going in
reason.
and out.
Yeah, you're a little choppy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it started choppy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it'll come
Yeah,
out in the wash.
yeah.
Yeah. But
So-
yeah, that pillow talk is dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So
And see,
you want to
look,
be mindful of that
Right.
as a leader.
and see again, when we dealing with leadership is also being able to give good direction based off of what you would do and what you wouldn't do, right? But even as a leader, so like this, right?
Right.
Plenty of times, anything I say to you, you say, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I told you, I said, yo, we doing this, we gonna start this. You see, I did the template. I said, yo, I did the template. I did the music. I did everything. I'll let you see it. Like, yo, we starting. That's it. Leadership is the first,
Right.
back in the war times, the generals was really on the field. You wasn't delegating people to wild out. You was on the field too. You know what I'm saying? So that's why anything that I'm leading or anything that I'm a part of, I'm getting down and dirty too. You get what I'm saying? I'm not delegating nobody. Yo, yeah, my graphics dude, yo, my PR bitch, and all this shit, because dudes be acting like they the leaders, but what did you really put together? You know what I'm saying? You didn't put together. No, I'm waiting for my man. You know that shit. I pissed me off. Yo, my man is gonna call me like, yo, how niggas waiting on you and you waiting on somebody else? So who the real leader? You understand what I'm saying? Who the real leader? So when you dealing with leadership, and even in the hood,
Exactly.
even in the hood, right? We never been in the hood and told the dudes under us to do no dumb shit or even encouraged it. Just like the older dudes before us didn't do that.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Our OGs was like, yo, I can't really stop y'all from doing nothing. Go take your asses to school. But once they realized we wasn't going to go to school, they was like, yo, do this and do that. But they never put packs in nobody's hand. They never did this, that, and the third. They're like, yo, if you going to be out here and you going to carry that, you better carry it like this. Because if not, your ass going to jail. I can't stop you from doing it.
Right.
But at least I could try to tell you, because they they tried to prevent. But again, the once the little lion get his mane and he roar, he like, oh shit, I'm like my pops, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a big lion now.
No
And
power.
right,
Yeah.
right. And that's the thing with us too. Like even with the youth that was coming up behind us that's out there right now, because we not out there. But we never was like, yo, y'all gotta wild out, yo, get them niggas from, yo, y'all niggas gotta chill. And we never, and remember too.
And see, as a
Go ahead. Go ahead.
now I was gonna say, as an OG, you gotta empower the ones that's coming behind you. Say, all right, I can't keep you from being out here, but if you're gonna be out here, this is the consequences. This is how you avoid it. What's the end goal? What are you doing this for? You doing this for some kicks? You doing this for a chain? Like, what are you really outside for? Or are
Right.
you trying to build something? Are you trying to take this money, stack it up, get it clean, and then move in a whole new direction where you can't be touched?
Right.
These are the conversations we grew up with. Now everybody wants to be a crash out. Even some of the OGs. I'm not saying all of the OGs, because some people do have a resume out here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You put in work, you put in work. Can't take that from you. But as one of our big bros, Pretty Black always say, you can't win yesterday's today's ball game with yesterday's score.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what you did yesterday has no real bearings on today. Nobody cares about that because, as you stated, dog, the young lions are coming up. So in any level of leadership, and if we're going to talk about the OGs, you got to empower those coming behind you. And it's twofold, right, dog?
Mm-hmm.
One, because you're going to have to pass that baton, and you want to pass it to somebody that can carry the tradition and the legacy of whatever it is, whether it's sports, whether it's the church, whether it's your civic organization. You want to pass that baton to somebody who's going to represent properly and take the organization to the next level.
Right.
That's one. Two, you don't want to be on the menu.
Right.
When you don't pass that baton, them young lions going to eat with or without you.
Time for them to take over the pride.
Age,
Yeah, time for them to take over the pride. Yeah.
Time to take over the pride. And you start to wind down. Your strength start to wind down. Your army start dissipating, whether they getting chipped from the last battle or just aging out the game. You start losing your strength and influence. So you have to empower somebody just so you can have a level of protection. Look at what happened to Marlo in The Wire. You know what I'm saying? He went down. Snoop got chipped. Chris had to do his bid. His whole organization was done. By the time he touched ground again, he's not even relevant.
Right.
And he at one time was the king. Look who took out what's our dude?
Omar.
Omar.
Right.
Little dude took him out. It's gonna happen.
Right.
You have to learn how to position yourself as a leader to empower those coming up behind you, so they'll feel a certain sense of loyalty to you because you giving them the game tried and true. And not only are you giving them the game and passing them the keys to the city, but you're giving them insight and guidance and leadership. So when they got to wear the crown, they still got an elder they can consult with for challenges they may be unfamiliar with. Again, that goes for any organization you in, particularly with the streets. Me and Dog Education is from the streets, so a lot of times we make reference to that. But this is applicable in any walks of life you may have, whether it's on a job, you get a promotion, and it may be somebody in the mailroom you think could take your old spot. Like, you know what? Derek been doing this thing. He's been proven to have leadership skills. He's always to work on time. He do his work thoroughly. You know what? My position open up, let's tap him on the shoulder. That's how the game go. But right now, where we at in this digital space, in this new world that we in, everybody is so selfish and self-centered. Everything is me, me, me.
Mm-hmm.
And it can't be me. If you the only one in the organization, who are you leading?
Right. Let me ask you
It's like
something.
all of these forces. Go
Let,
ahead,
let me
Joe.
let me ask you something. How do you feel when you see so many of these dudes that's 50 and up and way older than us acting like they might have been OGs in their time? But then it's like, due to the internet, based off of what you were saying earlier, you can see certain dudes like reliving their second childhood via the internet now, because it's like they trying to win today's game off that. Remember that time? Remember, I'm the one who, yo, look at me. Yo, I used to.
Right?
Go ahead.
Now I was gonna say like Al Bundy.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
hate his life, but when he talk about that winning touchdown at Polk High, he
Yeah.
just lights up.
Yeah.
Because that's the highlight of his life. And for a lot of dudes, because they haven't challenged themselves
Mm-hmm.
to lead themselves, they haven't challenged themselves to move to the next level. That's the highlight of their life.
Right.
You know, my company's better days ahead, man.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how hard things seem, it's always better days ahead. But you have to create those days. You can't live in the pastime paradise. So some people, yeah, you might have knocked out everybody on the block back in 9-6. It's 30 years ago, my G.
Right.
What have you done lately?
Right.
Ain't that what Janet Jackson said?
Right.
What have you done lately? So you, in demonstrating leadership skills, you have to challenge yourself to be a better person, to be a better leader. At the same token, while you're empowering those coming up behind you.
Right.
Empowering people is part of leadership skills. Here's the thing about leadership, right, Dog? And I'm gonna pass the mic back.
Mm-hmm.
As the leader, you're the head.
Right.
What houses the head? What does the head house? The brain. The brain is an organ. The root word of organization is organ.
Mm-hmm.
The brain controls the function of all the other organs. The kidney got to do its job, liver got to do its job, heart, eyes, ears. Each of these organs have to do their own job. If one of these organs don't do their job, it breaks down the organization. If your kidney start failing, the whole body is in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
If the heart starts failing, the whole body is in trouble. But who relays these messages? The brain.
Right.
So as the leader, you are the brain. So you got to be optimal and you got to constantly sharpen yourself so you can send the proper signals to each organ within the organization to help the body move forward and accomplish any goals that may be in place for the body.
Right. Right. And it's funny.
And this is very, very important. These are the root words of organization. So as the leader, you have to constantly be sharp. And pass the mic. You have to constantly be sharp and sharpen yourself.
Right.
And take counsel from others who may be in positions that you want to be. And that's very important. But go ahead, dog.
What I'm noticing too, it's a lot of guys who, niggas gotta realize when they fell off too, man. You just gotta come to grips. You not that nigga no more.
That's a whole
No, for real though, because see, that's a part of being
that's a buck.
Yeah, that's a part of being a leader though. Because real leaders, when they can't lead, step down and say, this is the leader now. I'm going to counsel this leader. I'm going to be with him, but I can't no longer do what I used to do because I can't. You understand what I'm saying? So if you are the leader of the army and the army keep losing,
Nobody's weary.
yeah, this is what I'm saying, bro. You still, because think about this. Tad, you know how we ripped and ran these streets, right? We don't, me and you the only people who
Word.
don't go on the
Yeah.
internet and tell the stories about how we rip and ran the streets. It goes without saying. So most of the shit that we did, we not even proud of. That's why
Well,
we
we
don't.
will one day.
We will sometime from time to time, but I'm just saying there's nothing to be proud about. Everything that we talk about is a cautionary tale.
Right.
But it's so many niggas who act like
Yeah.
tomorrow I'll be right back on the block. You know what I'm saying? Yo, all I gotta do is get a yo, my nigga.
I'm crashing out.
Yo, listen. Your best days are ahead of you, right? Your best days. Because if you really learn from the worst days, then all you got is better days ahead. But how you trying to revisit your worst days tomorrow? If I think how I think, if I think how I think now that I did when I was 15, what did I really learn? I didn't grow. So when I see niggas like, yeah, because I used to, and I'm like, yo, my nigga, that shit, what year is this to you? Like, sometimes I ask people, what year is this to you? Even all the shit that we was into, it don't matter no more. That's like, yo, I used to get mad beeps from the fiends. We don't got beepers no more. Think about it, beepers don't even exist. Niggas don't got beepers no more. So what are you talking about? But I realize that people try to play this leadership role through oppression, right? Their leadership come from fucking up their community and fucking up their own people and doing wrong, but you wasn't a leader a lot of times. You was foul. A real OG was like, yo, nah, this, that, and the third. I ain't even gonna do it like that, because we seen OGs. We come from a part of Brooklyn where we had major establishments that was black owned. We come from that before the Arab invasion, Dominican invasion, and the Spanish invasion. We had shit in our hood that was black owned. We never seen them OGs out of character. We knew people didn't fuck with them for some reason.
Word.
But we never seen them raise their voice. You know, shout out to Mr. Dave, shout out to Judge. We never seen them in conflict.
Yeah, damn, dog, I'm just about to say
We
that.
never
Shout
seen them. We never
Rest
seen
in
them.
peace.
Yo,
Yo.
we never seen them act out of character.
And they went out on a high note.
Yeah, we never
Not
seen them.
jammed up,
Yeah.
not chipped. Nobody took them out.
We
They didn't get no wild time. They owned real estate. They took care of the community. Yo, dog, you hitting so many points on the head, though.
That's what I'm
'Cause
saying.
even when you talked about leaders stepping down and giving counsel, that's how you form the council of elders.
Exactly.
That's how you form your council, which strengthens your qualities as a leader. You know, part of the empowerment is teaching others.
Right, right.
So as you age out the game of leadership, because you are gonna have to pass that crown, Mustafa. You're gonna have to pass that crown, Simba. You're gonna have to pass that crown off to the next generation coming up. It's just the cycle of life. You got to be prepared, but there's steps, it's protocols on how this is properly done. You got to know how to properly delegate responsibilities, forge alliances, as opposed to creating more enemies.
Right.
That's what makes some leaders successful. When you could just get on the phone and say, "Oh, I got peoples over there. I'm in tune with a general over there." So you got a standing army through allegiance.
Right.
In Queens or in Staten Island or in the Bronx. If you a solidified dude.
I think niggas think they got that though through rap. See, this is what I'm saying. Niggas think niggas got that through rap. Cause he like my posts and we follow each other. I'm like, nah. Yo, you know, and I'm gonna put this on record. I'm gonna put this on record. I called Aguilar the other day, right? I called Aguilar. And I said, yo, Ag, you know what I'm saying? Yo, you know you. I said, yo, you know you always good with me. I said, you know, me and my cousin got mad love for you. He was like, yo, he said, yo, your cousin popped out for me. He said a lot of niggas that was on my album, a lot of niggas that I was doing music with, they ain't even show up. I said, my cousin showed up because he really got genuine love for you. And I said, better believe while he was in that building with you, nobody wasn't going to do shit to you or fuck with you. Because that's why we fuck with you. Because I be seeing, you know, dudes picking on niggas sometimes and shit like that. And see, I look at him as a bro.
I know a few folks in the building.
Right. But I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
go
I
ahead.
look at him as a bro where it's like, if he do some shit that's out of line sometime, I'll hit him and be like, yo, that's not this. You understand what I'm saying? So I show, yo, because even the leader sometimes have to understand his troops. So it's almost like when you have a brother that's acting out, right? You want to, when you the lead, because you know, whether we like it or not, me and you the leaders of the family. And again, I'm not even one of the oldest, I'm one of the youngest males. And now you're the oldest male
Yeah,
for a certain thing, because we have different tiers. You know, we explain it to people, they wouldn't understand, but we have different tiers. But you are the oldest grandchild right now. You know what I'm saying? Of
yeah,
grandma. I'm one of the youngest grandchildren, but you're the leader, and I'm the leader. And one thing that me and him has always been is good with the children. The children was always the most important part of us. You know what I'm saying? The children, how they grow, how they learn comes from our leadership. You know what I'm saying? That's why we were saying earlier, we don't have too many bad seeds. We don't have too many uh stowaways. We don't have too many issues and problems out of the children, because it's like, yo, nah, you're not doing that. And then listen, I respect his leadership with his children. So anything the way that he lead his children, I just reinforce his leadership. Because you got some people to be like, oh, your father don't want you to have no bacon. Come on, eat you a little bacon sandwich and stuff like that. Nah, we don't give it up like that.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because people do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Be like, yo, go to your own. You know, because remember when we was little, we had our uncle. We didn't like to go to our uncle house, but when we went there, yo, he's letting us curse. Remember, like, yo, y'all could
Word.
curse. Niggas like 8 years old, like, yo, for no reason, we just be like, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Because he let us curse. He let us, you know, and I understood it. But then looking back in hindsight, it also was creating us to not really have discipline that we needed, because we was acting a certain way in front of an elder, an adult, that we shouldn't have acted. He should have always drew the line of, y'all my nephews, I love y'all, but I'm not y'all friend. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm not y'all friend.
How we do with children.
Right, right. Oh, I got an 11-year-old with me. Your damn granddaughter and everything. Dory, you're 11. I tell her that
Right.
all day, every day. Yeah, because you're little. You know what I'm saying? So no matter how big you got, no
Right.
matter how old you think you are, you still 11. Relax. You know what I'm
Still a
saying? And
child.
you could have your freedom. You could have fun, because one thing that Tad to tell y'all, when we was little, all we had was each other.
Word.
You know how many toys we had?
And not many.
That's what I'm saying. Think about the toys we had. You can't even remember
One
no
of us got
toys.
toys. That was all our toys.
Yo, you can't even remember the toys.
Now I remember your red apple.
My
That used to
red
make
apple and my monkey. Remember I had that monkey?
yeah, that
Yeah,
monkey, the
monkey
banana.
with the damn stuffing out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But this is the thing. One thing that we had was each other, and
yeah.
we were learning from each other. You know, we was learning for each other, and we had some bad motherfuckers, still
Relatives.
bad. Yeah,
Some bad relatives.
yeah, but yo, real
Siblings and
bad.
cousins and stuff.
Yo, real bad.
Setting the crib on fire and
Right,
just
yeah. This is
doing
what I'm
ill-advised
saying.
stuff.
But see, making peace with a lot of things too makes you a good leader too.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you can't be a scorned, angry leader, right? Because that means that you're gonna do to your troops, your family, your children what was done to you. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you gotta shake shit. So, you know, shit, we didn't have yo, the shit that we had to eat sometimes is like, yo, I never eat that shit again in life. I don't even go in them
Don't want no more
aisles.
spam sandwiches though.
Nah, I don't want no
No
spam.
spam mac and cheese.
I don't want that cheese with that red ass plastic around it. The
You want no
bologna.
fried bologna?
Yo,
Come on.
fried bologna. Yo, nah, that's my brother. Rest in peace. You know what I'm
And
saying?
sugar water.
Sugar water. Yo.
Yo, that's what's crazy though, because when Ghost came out with All I Got Is You,
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget. I pulled over and cried. Like, yo, is
Right.
this dude in our crib?
Right. Right.
15 of us in a 3-bedroom apartment. Roaches everywhere. And I mean, I think I love that song because the honesty of it all, because everybody acting like they was born on. People acting like they family didn't struggle, you know? But struggle builds character. And you need character to be an effective leader. You know, especially when you got a house full of kids, you got to learn how different personalities, how to gauge them, how to deal with them, how to manage their expectations, because all this is important to your development, especially when you're young. So this is why we're so invested in the children, and we share these jewels with the community.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because they work for us. We not coming up here posturing as people that are perfect. If anything, we talking about those challenges we had in life. For me, speaking for myself, about mistakes that I've made and my mindset, the way I used to think, and how did I switch that paradigm. For those who don't know, a paradigm shift just means a reality shift.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it means. Because you are the master of your destiny. You control your reality, or what you think is real to you. For
Mm-hmm.
like some people, they really can't go to the other side of town, because the reality is they will get popped if they go over there. But when you change your mindset, you change your behavior, you change so much about yourself, that no longer becomes your reality, because you're not even on that type of time. And for some people, depending on how far you go in your personal development, they'll see you and see that you ain't on that time no more. And hopefully, if you're lucky enough, they may have grown out of that mindset. Because as we talked about, the OGs and dudes who call themselves leaders, it's a certain level of prestige you have to carry, because you are influential. So you have to ask yourself, do you influence people for positive or negative effects? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
How do people feel when they leave your presence? Are they inspired when they finish talking to you, or are they drained like, here this nigga go?
Let me ask you something too. You often talk about the little dudes in the hood calling you OG, and you never really accept it. Why?
You know what? I'm starting to embrace it now, but prior to that, because I think prior to that, when I was really reluctant to accept it, it's because the connotations they may have as looking at me as my old resume, as the old gangster I used to be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then when I really have these conversations with them, right, dog?
Mm-hmm.
It's the inspiration that I provided, because
Right.
they know the resume from being in the hood. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But then the things I went to do with my life, from the school in Africa to organizing the young people in the projects, to just how I raised my children. Because when people see my sons, they see young princes and kings.
Mm-hmm.
I never had to go bail my sons out of jail. I had to probably pick up Buddy and Kevin one time in my whole life. And that's just, you grow up in the hood, you're going to have a little scuffle with the law where you spend the night.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But that was the worst that it came. But they never had no cases where I was concerned about them. I never had to grab my daughters off no strip pole, thank goodness. And people see that.
Mm-hmm.
People see that like, wow, he kept his children on the right path, even though he was on the wrong path, and his children grew up in this environment. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because not all of the children's friends have made it out the fringes of the hood and the
Right.
violence that comes with it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, my son lost a lot of friends to the streets,
Like
but
we
I've
do.
always told my
Mm-hmm.
children, y'all are not going to be like me.
Right.
And I made that promise to myself, and I made that promise to the creator, that I will not let my children go down the path that I went, because they may not be as lucky.
Right.
They may not survive a head bust.
Mm-hmm.
They may have to stay the rest of their lives in the can.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to everybody who got to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Men who have lost their children to the streets. Here, these men survived the streets, but lost their sons to the streets. Men who may have dodged a bullet, but then their sons or their daughters got to do 25 years to life.
Mm-hmm.
Good leadership is helping your children navigate their ways out of this jungle, out of this system that's trying to keep our families down and destroyed. That's
Mm-hmm.
why we did a show a few months back, maybe last year, dog, when we talked about why do we celebrate the worst peoples in our hood?
Right.
The people who get the most respect that's looked to for leadership is the people who shot the most people or sold the most drugs. You
Right.
either physically harm people or you poison the community, and somehow you're the leaders in our hood.
Right.
And the reason why we here on Family, Friends, and Foes, because we're going to start dispelling that myth.
Right.
We're going to challenge people to change that narrative, change your lifestyle. Not telling you don't get money by all means, but don't act like it's something to brag about, because many of our family have become victims to that poison. to the drug game. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Whether they got incarcerated or became victims of it using it.
And let me ask y'all something. How could you trust a dude who got top from his own man mom's and gave her
that's
work
wild.
and gave her
That's
work?
wild.
But this is what I'm
That's
saying.
wild.
This is,
That's
but
wild.
see, because these are the dudes that do that fake hood leadership that did some of the most ominous shit in the hood, but they think it's funny now though. They might put it in the rap. They might put it on IG. And dudes it kills me how dudes want to be known for being a piece of shit, but then try to act like, yo, I'm this, that, and the third. Nah, listen, I respect dudes who be like, yo, I'm fucked up. I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's that accountability. So if you say that about you, then I know how to handle you. The worst person that you can encounter, somebody come with that smile. But remember, a beautiful rose got them thorns in it.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Beautiful rose got them thorns in it. So, you know, what we talking about tonight, we're not going to really keep y'all that long. You know what I'm saying? We'll make the
Like
shows
short
long.
and sweet.
Yeah, we'll make the shows longer and longer as the topics progress and they need more. This is a rehashed topic that we talk about all the time, but you know what? Sometimes repetition, you need repetition. You need to hear it more than once. You need to hear it different ways. You need to hear it often. You know, because these conversations are really, really needed. And it's coming from people who are a testimony of their word. Like I said, you got the word, but it was always reinforced by actions. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, me and Tag grew up sociopaths. Where you just like, yo, let's go outside and fuck somebody up for no reason.
Word. Call that our recreation.
Yeah, let's go catch wreck. You know what I'm saying? And to be making people victims, to turning people into victors, that's our story. You know what I'm saying? So we got the family.
Right there.
Yeah, we got the family. The like I said, our blood by vein, our blood by gang. We got our friends who we made victors, and even our foes we made victors because they not our foes no more. And we could see dudes and be like, yo, oh, that's your little one? Yo, that's what's up. But at one point, be like, that's your little one? Yo, your little one got to see daddy get hurt. You know what I'm saying? So evolving from that, you know, because evolution is everything. The world keep turning. But you got some niggas, yeah, I used to. And I'm like, yeah, but that shit was, what, 99, my nigga? Like, what year is it to you? You know what I'm saying? This ain't, listen, bros, this ain't Back to the Future. Nobody gives a shit about what you did. Some of the shit you might have did, greatness, motherfuckers wasn't even born. I said that to Zuri earlier. I said, yo, you wasn't born. Because she was playing the piano and all. I said, yo, you gonna be musically inclined because it's in your blood. I was taking you to Guitar Center since you was 2. I said, you remember the one where you was playing the drum machine? She said, I don't even remember. I said, yeah. I said, I was making music before you were born. You know what I'm saying? So you certain things you don't even know about. So you might naturally do stuff, but you don't know that it's automatically in your DNA to do that. All it is my job, your grandfather's job, to help reinforce what it is that you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to fail neither. Your mother didn't fail, and you know the hell you went through with her mother. And her mother know the hell you went through with her. You get what I'm saying? But what's the best thing you did? Never gave up.
Word.
I remember Tad, where you going? Yo, I'm going to Poughkeepsie to see Tati. Yo, I'm going here. I'm going here. Always and on the damn cheese. I mean, the Chinese bus going places.
Chinese bus, the Greyhound,
Right.
the shit, bicycle, skateboard, foot, bike, whatever she had.
Never missed a graduation. Never missed a play. Never missed nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing we got to talk about too, because you one of the only men that I know that never claimed that, yo, my baby moms, man. I never heard that shit come out your mouth.
Yeah.
Nigga like, yo, that's my kids. I don't give a fuck what she want to do. I don't give a fuck what she say. And it ain't got nothing to do with no other man neither. It's just that, yo, I'm their father and I'm always going to be that. And I'm always going to be there. So there is no room for no stepdads, no boyfriends, none of that. It ain't no room for that. You know what I'm saying? And go ahead.
Nah, I was gonna say, and that's funny because that goes back to what we was talking about earlier. Lead yourself, then lead your family.
Right.
Because who word should have more weight than daddy?
Right.
Not mommy,
Right.
not grandma, not grandpa. Daddy word should matter. Grandma and grandpa is there to back daddy up if daddy's doing the right thing.
Right.
Mommy
Right.
should back daddy up, but we know in this day and age, the narrative is always for men and women to bump heads, even if we have a shared priority like a child, because that should always be your priority. And if you could raise good, solid children, that's a reflection of your leadership skills. You know what I mean? Before you
Absolutely.
venture out into the community, because that's the three stages I want people to really zero in on.
Hold on. Before we do that, let's sing Zori Mother Praises. Tell the world what she do.
Oh, well, she's a therapist. My
See?
baby's a therapist. Just got her bachelor's last summer. I mean, not her bachelor's, her master's. My bad. And considering going back for her doctorates, which may be soon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of these things cost money, but I'm super proud of her because, like with any family, we had our challenges. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was me and her mother, we patched that up. Then me and her, you know, and we patched that up. No family is perfect
Right.
by no stretch of the imagination, but for all the men out there who may be dealing with child support and visitations and baby mama drama, please do not give up.
Right.
Please go to the court and find out your rights, because I hear too many men copping pleas about what their baby mama won't let them do. That's your child, establish paternity. Once paternity is established, you have as much rights as that woman. And now you step on the battlefield and demonstrate your leadership skills. But you don't cower down. I don't care how high the chips are stacked against you. Real men fight for what's theirs. And your child should always be your number one priority until they can stand on their own.
Right.
And even then, you become counsel. I used to always tell my children, long as you're under this roof, this shit is a dictatorship.
Word. You're right.
You do as I say.
Right.
But once you demonstrate that you can make wise choices and stand on your own, once you move out this house and become a real adult, all I could do is advise you.
Right.
I can't tell you what to do no more.
Yep.
I can't tell somebody what to do in their home.
Right.
And that's what I encourage people to do, because I see too many men quit too early.
Mm-hmm.
They it's like 3 and 4 years old and they've already given up.
And go to another
my
chick
baby
and have
mother
more
won't
kids.
let
No,
me
go
see
to
him.
another chick.
Oh, her new boyfriend.
Yeah, go to another chick and have
to
new
another chick and
kids
have more
and go
kids.
through that same shit.
With the same issue though.
Same
With the
because
same issue.
it's you. You the common
Yeah,
denominator.
it's you.
Yeah,
And your
but
lack of leadership skills. And
absolutely.
your lack of leadership skills.
Yep.
Because once you put your foot down and assert your manhood, your masculine dominance, and I'm not talking about oppressing a woman, but I'm talking about standing up as a father, demonstrating that you are a father, that your main concern is your child, not who your baby mama's sleeping with, but your child. You demonstrate that and go to court if you have to, because whether you know it or not, the court is the battlefield. The courtroom is a battlefield. And you just got to go in there ready to exert your dominance, your leadership skills, if you have any. So develop that.
Right.
And it's something you were saying. Oh, when you was talking about people being a piece of shit, dog. Once they acknowledge they're a piece of shit, this was the time you go back in your cave and you build yourself.
Right.
You start working on yourself. You know you ain't shit. Start taking an inventory of yourself. Things you like about yourself, things you want to improve about yourself.
Right.
Start changing how you view yourself. The way you talk to yourself. Positive and negative self-talk is so pervasive in our lives. We don't realize the narrative that we have. It's something Dr. King always talked about, the internal dialogue. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. used to talk about, what do we tell ourselves about ourselves? And that's very important to how we move about in the world. So I encourage people to have positive self-talk. Stop telling yourself you can't do it. You keep trying. You fail, you get up, you try again.
And what he's
That's
saying,
what
is different from narcissism of saying, I'm the one who, if it wasn't for me, yeah, I used to. See,
Yeah, because your evidence gonna speak for
your
itself.
evidence gonna speak for itself. Like I said, man, a lot of dudes always talk about what they had and all that shit. Yo, listen, that shit do not matter. It is 2026. It don't matter what you had when you was 19, man. And I'm sorry, I know too many black men who live like that and be actually trying to front and want praise for some shit they did when they was a teen. You know what I'm saying? Like, when the fuck you gonna grow up? But Tad, we up out of here. I got more work to do, and we thank
Yeah.
y'all for joining
I
us
just want
tonight. Go ahead.
yeah, I just want to leave people. I just want to leave the people with this. As we talk about leadership, remember, your leadership is not measured. The success of your leadership is not measured by how many followers you have, but by how many leaders you create coming up behind you. So empower the people. Make sure that you're studying leadership. Look at the people who are influential in your life, people that you truly, genuinely respect, that's not necessarily in the lifestyle that you may be trying to get out of. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And emulate that. Emulate their positive habits, because it's all about habits. It's all about our internal dialogue, things we tell ourselves, because we all could do better and be better people. Because where we at right now, it's not it.
Yep.
We not on no soapbox shit, but we do want to see everybody win, because I'm tired of being around losers.
Word.
And if you're stuck in the hood, you're around a bunch of fucking losers.
And on
Let's
that
keep it
note,
Doggie Diamonds did this.
yo, thank y'all, man. Make sure you subscribe to the page, hit the like button, and leave a comment. Thank y'all.